Hey guys, I'm Sean.
And I'm Jim. Welcome to Cross Country Food Wars.
Today we have tacos we're doing. I wanted an excuse to make barbacoa. So tacos.
As if
Um,
you need an excuse.
I love barbacoa, guys. So we're gonna do Jim's video first. Now, traditionally we've kind of just swapped places with whose video goes first, but in this case, I have a 17-minute video and Jim has about a 4-minute video or three.
No, that's more like
That.
3 minutes, I think.
Yeah. So because I made everything by hand, whereas I think he might have bought a lot of the things, but that's okay. That's how we do things. We show the differences in how we go about making our things, so that's fine. So we're gonna go ahead and get his video on first, and then we'll have mine.
All right. Well, starting out, I got some carne asada made with skirt steak at the store. Now, that's an actual butcher shop that they make it fresh every day. It's a good recipe. It tastes good, so no reason not to go with it. Just fried it up in the cast iron and went for it. Now here, yes, we use corn tacos. We like gringo tacos in our house. Tacos are not a particularly big meal around here. But I wanted to do something different than just something you get at Taco Bell or Del Taco, which is what we normally make. Just ground beef and lettuce and cheese. Now, first is the meat. This is a little bit of salsa fresca. Again, this is stuff that's actually made fresh at the store. So, yeah, I cheated and bought that. It's good. Now, after watching a lot of videos about tacos, the fancy tacos, all of them did essentially the same thing. They would put together a salad of some type. So, this salad is composed of various greens out of our garden. There's green lettuce, mustard greens in there. We had a ton of dill that we harvested, so I put some dill in there. I've got a diced Roma tomato, and I've got some diced tomatillos in there.
Looks like I see some red onion in there as well.
That's the Roma tomato. Oh, yes, red onion is in there also. You're right.
Okay, I was gonna say I see the red onion.
Yeah, red onion's in there too.
You're not gonna sneak an onion by me. I can see the bowl of it right there on the camera right now.
Right. Then of course sour cream and some diced jalapeno on top.
Like and sliced radishes on there.
Yeah, sliced radish also.
The radish is an odd choice to me, but
hey, I like it. And I had Randy B, our guinea pig. Now, I almost wrapped that with a soft taco with guacamole to hold it onto just to keep that cracking from happening.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. I mean, that's taco night here at the Bacon household.
I'm Sean McCross. All right, so
that was the fancy taco night.
All right, so here we have something a lot more involved.
Yeah, I know you're pretty much speechless
and
about
today we're doing
that
tacos. Tacos was my idea. Jim wasn't super excited about it, but a really, really good taco takes a while. So, and there's a lot of steps to most of them. So, we're going to be making some barbacoa today for some tacos. So, first thing, I start with a chuck roast. That's the meat I like. I like a little fat in mine. Since this is going to be braised, essentially, I don't bother with trimming it too much. I kind of just get it into nice chunks for a sear.
Chuck is so versatile.
Chuck, you can do anything with Chuck.
Hey, Deontay's watching.
I always have a big chuck roast in my refrigerator. Knife is a safe knife. Because I can always find something.
Yeah, hello, Deontay. Thank you for joining us.
Okay. Now we're just going to fry these off in batches, or sear them off in batches. We're going to sear on all sides, because the Maillard effect is where you're getting the flavor from. Maillard effect is the browning of meat. A bad sear means you'll end up with gray meat. So we're going to try not to overcrowd the pan. We're not going to press things in. We're going to do this in batches. We're going to have 2 batches from one roast, where we have some chunks with some breathing room around them. And they're going to sear for a little while. After that, we'll deglaze the pan. We'll deglaze the Dutch oven, and we'll start adding our simmering liquid. That's going to be beer. It's going to be beef broth, and then our seasonings, including some dried chilies, are going to go in there as well. So after this is all done searing off, we'll be right back.
I noticed that Deontay came in after my video.
We have we've gone ahead and done 2 batches.
You waited until yours was over.
This is the color you want right here. That nice color there, that's the Maillard effect right there. So we've got our beef done. Adding everything back. Now we just need to add our beef broth deglaze, and then we need to add all of the
Why is that pan
items
so
that
yellow?
we use.
There's a lot of oil popping out of the
dried
top.
peppers we're going to use.
That's why. Get ready to get a lot yellower for a second here.
Yeah.
That beer in there. Get some beef broth in there.
That's a lot of liquid for a braise.
It's all going to cook down.
This seems like a lot of liquid, but this is going to cook for several hours.
You knew I was going to say that.
Well, I had to go back and actually add more, is the thing.
Like my
And
camera
I
person
still,
has to leave for work at 4.
freaking.
It's almost
scorched it
noon,
at the bottom.
and we're almost sure she's not going to get to eat it before she leaves today. So that's the time commitment what we're looking at here. We're going to get some garlic in.
Did you have it in the oven or on the stovetop for the braise?
These are
I had it on the stovetop the whole time.
dried
Just like
chili
let it
peppers
simmer.
or ghost peppers. I'm just going to drop a couple of those in. Maybe 3.
See my little ghost drawn on there on the label.
Yeah. Living dangerously there.
With ghost peppers?
And we're going to get a
Sometimes.
chipotle pepper in here.
Nah, I have a pretty good handle on how
This is
hot they
also
are.
dried chipotle
That's why there's only
dried
3 in
pepper
there.
as well. I should say
So that's a
product.
chipotle
What
pepper,
we're gonna
not
do
a
is we're
chili
gonna slice the
pepper.
top off,
I called it a chili, but that's a chipotle pepper that I'm
because
putting
we're
in.
just gonna blend
now.
this. We're not gonna take this out. We're not gonna bother.
Yeah.
And with that, I'm out of chili peppers.
Chipotle peppers.
Alexa,
Chipotle peppers.
add dried chili peppers to the list.
Chipotle peppers. Add chipotle peppers to the menu, or to the order.
Now that right there reminds me of a rather common meme now,
We're
where
gonna get this lidded,
saying that boomers like me were paranoid.
Listen.
and then we're gonna forget about it for oh.
The smoke alarm is over.
As
The
the smoke
what?
alarm doesn't go off while you're searing, you aren't searing right. Unless you have a vent to atmosphere fan. Mine just recirculates back into the kitchen, unfortunately.
Yeah, whereas ours
So-
is directly outside.
But if your smoke
Yeah.
alarm doesn't go off from your sears, you are
We
not searing
specifically
right.
put that in during our remodel.
That's a fact. Smoke alarm means seared correctly. You guys saw the browning. Speaks for itself. Anyways,
Mr. White would
we'll see you
disagree
guys in a
with
few hours.
Mr. Who?
Okay, guys.
Mr. White,
We've been
I don't know
cooking
who
this
that
for a
is.
while.
the comedian Ron
We did
White.
start to run out of liquid, so I've added another.
See how much is cooked down already?
Yeah.
And now it's time to get the rest of our seasoning blend in.
You can actually
And
see the line where it was up to.
Yeah. Well, we put it in the oven at like 225, 250. That doesn't happen. It doesn't
already
scorch.
plucked out
You're right. But I didn't do that.
The bay leaves, because they've been steeping for long enough. So we're gonna come in here with some red pepper flakes.
Right.
There we go.
There's going to be quite a bit of heat in that
Some
thing.
cumin.
Yep. That's cumin going in.
This part's important.
Yes.
Cumin is super important for barbacoa. If you leave it out, it won't taste right at all.
It's super important for any kind of Hispanic
Not going to use a ton of onion powder.
Yep.
Because we're going to have some onions in the actual final product. A little bit of black pepper just for the flavor. We're not really looking for heat because we put some ghost chilies in there already. And then the secret weapon here. I know it sounds weird, but we're actually going to add a little bit of clove.
Okay.
And then a little bit of smoked paprika.
The clove actually
This is
chills
more for
out the heat a
smokiness
little
that we're
bit
doing
too.
this for.
The clove
We
kind
want
of
that
like
smokiness.
You know what I mean?
It's gonna
It
make
rains
the
in
whole
a
kitchen
little bit.
smell like Christmas.
You know what else does?
Which you wouldn't imagine. You wouldn't think
That's-
that barbacoa would take clove, but
More or
it
less my
really,
secret
really
weapon
does make
on
a
pork
difference to have a
is
little bit of
cinnamon.
clove in there, in the final flavor. Makes a huge difference. So as you can see, this is still decidedly tough beef. Oh, that piece is tender, but most of it is still pretty tough. See that doesn't tear easy at all. So we're gonna boil this for probably another hour or two, maybe even 3.
That's for sure. With that much liquid, that's boiling, not braising.
And just
In
down
my
here,
opinion.
down here.
In my
It's
opinion.
braising. Yeah,
And
it's braising.
That's that. We will be back in a while, and these are probably tomorrow's tacos for Alice. So,
I would say so.
but we are gonna finish them today. All right, see you guys
We did
later.
not finish them that day.
Okay, guys, so it's day 2 of the tacos. The reason it's day 2 is because, well, one of the people that was going to be eating the tacos had to go to work. So I saran wrapped the barbacoa, and we're going to throw it on the flat top.
That actually probably helped
and get
tenderize it
ready
a little
that
bit
way.
more.
It is cooked through. Now, I did scorch the bottom because I walked away from the pot and forgot about it. And then we're gonna forget about it. Walk away from your pot and forget about it. Well, I forgot about it for too long, and all my liquid burned up and scorched the bottom. So I had to sacrifice some of the barbacoa in order to not end up eating any of the burnt stuff.
Yeah.
But regardless, it tastes delicious. I did taste some of it before I put it away. Doesn't taste burned. What I salvaged does not taste burned. It is delicious. But we are deprived of the delicious sauce that gets made from the juice that's left over from the braising
Yeah, so
liquid.
typically I take all those peppers and onions and all that other stuff that I put in there
into
in the
our
braising liquid, and I
salsa
take my
that we're
stick
gonna
blender and I blend all that up, and it becomes the taco sauce.
and we're just making
It becomes the taco sauce, but that's gone
Right.
now. So.
That makes sense.
quick salsa here.
It's not a
Pico
super
de
quick
gallo.
salsa. That I used that very light, very
Pico. So
How
mean, it's
long
quick,
did you
but-
actually leave it on there on that simmer that the liquid went away?
about 4 hours.
Wow.
I misjudged how high I had my heat. It's a new oven, remember?
I was gonna say,
That would have never happened with my old oven. I misjudged how
you mean your old stovetop?
with my old stovetop that would have never happened, but I misjudged how
that's our white onion.
see, in the turbo burner's on the right side,
making a small
on my
amount.
old one. It's on the
Just
left side
enough.
on my new one.
Ah,
So I was cooking on
taco.
the left side on the turbo burner.
Tacos for lunch today.
You
can always make this fresh because it
Shit happens when you party naked.
You don't need to make giant batches of pico unless you're working in a restaurant. So, got our onion. Whew, that is a strong onion. Tomato.
I was trying not to cry at this point. I killed the audio because and sped this up. Because Nobody wants to watch me cut a tomato for an hour. I mean, it didn't take an hour, but
Right. That's the same reason I just skip past the knife work most of the time on mine now.
with mine, if I'm making salsa, I'm not going to skip past the knife work because
This
it's
stuff
the
doesn't have to
whole,
be pretty.
the whole sauce.
It's delicious either way.
And these are just jalapenos.
Yep.
Typically, I actually go poblano here, but
I'm just gonna pull that.
jalapenos are what I had on
It's
hand.
bitter. It doesn't
So.
taste good. It's not spicy.
Exactly.
It just doesn't
Use what you
taste
got.
good.
That's
Yep.
basically what I
One
do.
jalapeno. So if you're keeping track,
Which is why my dishes always taste
we
similar,
got one
when it's the
jalapeno
same
that we're
dish.
putting in.
but they're never
We
quite
have
exactly the
half an
same.
onion that's in, half of a tomato currently, and I don't believe we'll be adding more tomato. I think we have enough onion and tomato.
I'm just glad that you didn't reach up and rub your eyes because they're starting to water from that onion.
Or go to the restroom.
Yeah.
That would have sucked more.
Boys and girls, when you are working with jalapenos, even washing your hands with soap and water
Now that we have
immediately
our
afterwards, odds are you won't get all of that capsaicin off.
Vegetables cut up.
No,
We're
you
actually
will
gonna
not.
add a little cumin.
Yep.
And a little bit of salt.
And that's an applewood smoked salt.
Ah.
Not that it adds a whole
Your
lot of
lime
extra
juice in.
smokiness to.
So my workspace was getting a little cluttered there. I had to take a break and clean it up. The next thing we're gonna add is we're gonna get some garlic in here, and we're gonna get some parsley in here. Now, normally I would normally use cilantro, but my girlfriend has the gene where she can't deal with that.
Yeah,
So-
both Val and I have that too.
She has that that thing where the cilantro always tastes like soap. So
See, and I
have
love
a-
put that in
cilantro.
there.
And we have a ton of cilantro in our garden.
Little
It
bit
grows
of-
like you wouldn't believe. So we always
garlic.
harvest it and give it to our daughter-in-law.
And there it is. Delicious pico de gallo. Off camera, I mixed in some the juice of 2 limes as well. So this will be nice and refreshing and zesty and
Looks
garlicky, tomatoey. The sharpness of the onion will be nice.
I regret not putting more jalapeno
That's my
in there,
pico.
actually.
And that is
I
going to
regret
be
not adding another extra half
most of
jalapeno.
my taco dressings. We're also going to have some sour cream.
Typically,
No,
I
sour cream
include-
doesn't go
Typically, I include a habanero in my pico,
Mm.
but I thought that might be a little bit much for a lot of people, especially because I had to balance out how spicy the meat was.
Well, I was getting risky adding that jalapeno on during my salad. If only because both Val and Randy now don't have the heat tolerance that I have.
traditionally in tacos, but I like sour cream and putting sour cream in my tacos. Okay, so now we're just going to go ahead and get our flat
Taco
top
dressing,
warmed
exactly,
up.
Deontay.
And
I'm
we're gonna
excited
get
that
our
somebody caught
barbacoa
that.
down in the flat top. We're
I'm
just heating it up. Like I said, we cooked it through.
I'm
You
excited
can
that
see how tender
someone
is
caught that.
already from the braising that it went through. But we're just gonna get this down, saute it for a bit, and we'll be ready to make some tacos.
I
Now,
thought
Cole,
about making a taco dressing, but I didn't. No, I was going to use sour cream or a little bit of sour cream with some mayo, some
Okay,
paprika,
so these are bigger tortillas than I thought I ordered.
some red pepper or chili powder.
But we're just getting the tortillas kind of fried off here. Yeah, these are burrito tortillas.
As
I mean, they
say,
seem
those
like
are
big
pretty
ta-
damn big.
They're pretty big. I mean, they say they're
They
medium
say
on the
taco,
package,
but these are awfully big
but
tacos,
man, I don't know, man. Instacart got me a little bit on this.
That's at least enchilada size.
I suspect that he uses a powdered variant of taco dressing.
There's getting some brown on them. Don't mind the black. That's what a flat top looks like after grilling some barbacoa on it for a few minutes.
Powdered variant,
All right, so now
Deontay. Powdered.
we got those heated up. They're bubbling just a little bit. Hot.
Oh, very
Very, very
funny,
hot.
Deontay.
But they're still soft, and that's important. Now that they're soft, we're gonna get our delicious barbacoa.
You haven't
in
had
there.
my cooking, Deontay, so don't talk.
I think that just went right over your head, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think that went
Okay,
right over
probably
your head. Me and Deontay are speaking in a different language than you right now, and that's
Yeah, I believe it.
okay.
But hey, you've had my soup, so you know I can at least
Getting our
put something together.
pico de gallo on there.
Even if you're not a fan of parsnips.
I'm not a fan of parsnip. But believe it or not, despite burning up on my braising liquid, this barbacoa is still very juicy, and I'm sure you can tell that by looking at it.
And then we, like I said, we include a dollop of sour cream on our tacos in this household.
And there's nothing wrong with sour cream on tacos. That is, in fact,
There it is.
traditional. It all depends on what type of cuisine you're looking at or
But
who's
yeah.
cooking it.
That
It's a big taco, but
is
it's a
my
good one.
taco. And that is absolutely delicious. But this is my girlfriend's plate, so I'm not going to eat it. All right, guys, that's my taco. Have a good one. Bye.
Okay, not bad. Obviously,
Yeah, so-
not a lot more original work went into it than what I did on mine. But again,
It's a nice fat taco there, Deontay.
Yeah. But like I say, for us, tacos aren't a major deal, which is strange because we do enjoy Mexican food a lot. We grew up on it, being raised in Los Angeles. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, here when I get involved in making tacos, I go pretty much the whole hog. You know, I make it from start to finish. I make everything except for the tortillas, and I make them. I do this pretty frequently. A lot of times, I'll make one huge batch, and we'll have tacos for 2 or 3 days. You know, to snack on. You know, because it's pretty easy to throw a little bit of water in a bowl and a big hunk of barbacoa in a bowl and heat it up in the microwave, or throw it on the flat top to rewarm it. And you got tacos for 2 or 3 days, you know, for lunch. Tacos for 2 or 3 days. You can't beat that. The pico refrigerates well for a couple of days, especially with the lime juice.
Yep.
Works as a really good preservative anyways. So
it would.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we happily will eat tacos for 2 or 3 days in a row.
Yeah. Whereas for us, taco night is we'll have fresh corn tortillas and we'll fry those ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we'll either have tacos or some of them we'll leave flat and use them as tostadas. Yeah. We'll invariably have some refried beans to go in also, so we can have our choice between them.
Yeah.
And
and
more often we'll have taco salad night.
Yeah, with ours it's kind of like a taco week event, right? Like I do it once a month. And you know, on a Monday night, I'll start, you know, my barbacoa in the morning, and we'll have tacos for lunch, and then we'll have tacos all week for lunch. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then we don't have any for the rest of the month.
Yeah,
after we eat them all up, they're gone for the month. You know, like
no, for us to deviate, the most common deviation from our gringo taco night would be when I smoke a pork butt or a brisket, something like that, and then we take the leftovers from that, and then we have tacos or enchiladas or stew,
absolutely,
or chili. I mean,
absolutely. There's definitely going to be some pulled pork tacos consumed next week, as I'm making. I've got my pork shoulder, my pork butt is it's currently dry brining in the fridge, so I'll be making that tomorrow.
I found just a small shoulder roast for like 3. It's not quite 3.5 pounds that I went with this
Whereas
time. Yeah, I didn't want to
whereas
do a full butt this time.
whereas I always do a full butt because I don't turn on my smoker for anything, smaller than one full butt because it's such a big smoker. Getting it up to temp takes so much fuel that it's kind of wasteful if I don't, because it's not keeping it at temp is very easy, but getting
Right.
it up to temp is a lot of fuel because it's such a big space.
Yeah, yours has got a much larger cook chamber than mine does. We got the same
Exactly.
size. We have the same size firebox, but your cook chamber
Right.
is a lot larger.
So I have to burn a lot of fuel to get it up to temperature. Keeping it there is very easily because it's insulated and such,
Right.
but it takes a lot to get it up to temp. So since it takes a lot to get it up to temp, I just don't start a fire unless I'm going to do at least one full pork butt. Because you're looking at, a half a bag of charcoal to get it up to temp.
Yeah, whereas I've got the luxury of scaling down if I want to.
Right, and which is why I'm looking at smokers to have a smaller one on hand for that exact reason, because I'd like to do smaller cooks when it's just me and Alice. It's not worth heating up that big party sized one when there's no party,
Yeah.
But I do it anyway. So need a smaller smoker to facilitate some of those
Well, I tell you what, those Oklahoma Joes they're a nice size. They're economical and decent construction compared to the really cheap offsets.
Right. I've looked at those. I've been looking at I've been also looking at the Karabakh ones.
Yeah.
That's another model I've been looking at, and then there's a water smoker I'm looking at as well. I'm trying to remember exactly what that one's called.
Just yesterday, Val and I were at Lowe's, and she saw a pellet smoker that caught her attention.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, no,
I may get a pellet smoker just to be able to do it overnight when I'm asleep.
Yeah. I mean, I have to admit, like, you get yourself a full packer brisket, and you're going to start cooking around midnight.
Yeah.
Hell, a pork butt for that matter.
And then you're gonna be up all night.
Butt.
You're gonna be up all night, and you're not gonna get any sleep. And then when it's time to actually enjoy the gathering, you're wiped out. You're tired, and everybody else is having fun, and you are wiped out. And that's kind of the life that you live when you do regular barbecue on a regular, on a regular cook chamber. And
That's
when
right.
you don't have a something to or a person to to tag in and let you get a few winks.
Yeah, because even a full butt is going to take typically
12
12 hours. It can
Well,
take up to 12 hours.
I cook them a little bit faster, but yeah, I mean, I typically cook pork at about 275, 280.
Yeah, same thing I was doing.
And I usually finish that in 8 to 10 hours, depending on the size.
Yeah, but even that 3.5 pound roast, that still took
6 hours.
It still took 6 hours of actual cook time, plus another hour and a half of resting, of holding.
Yep, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Well, those tacos did look good. I freely confess you made a much better taco than I did.
Well, thank you.
But you knew that going into it. You knew that was going to happen. I knew that was going to happen.
It would happen.
I knew that was going to happen. Let's say tacos aren't a big deal for us, which, let's say, is surprising given our backgrounds.
Yeah, I mean, you would think that I would be the one that wouldn't be as into it, but I love Hispanic food. I mean, I did a Cuban dinner for New Year's.
And it's so hard to find good Hispanic food. You would think here in Vegas there'd be a lot of Mexican restaurants. There's not. I've only found 2 little family-run restaurants that offer up what I call good Mexican food.
Hey guys, in the comments, if you know of a really good Mexican food restaurant in the Las Vegas area, clearly Jim is looking for one. So drop that in the comments.
Hey, I'm sorry. I mean, your typical family restaurant, you walk in, they got 100 different items on the menu, numbered 1 through 100, and you just say, that one. It's got the gaudy decoration, the whole 9 yards, but you know the food's going to be good.
Well, you hope it will be anyways. But anyways, guys, I think that's our time, and we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. But definitely, if you're watching from Facebook, head over to YouTube, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss any of these. Next week, obviously, as we've talked about here, we're doing pulled pork. I think we're both doing our takes on pulled pork sandwiches. Neither of us are making our coleslaw from scratch because coleslaw it's a dressing, guys. Like it's the way that we're using it is not as a side dish, but literally basically as a sauce.
Right.
And there's just not much to be gained, right? Like it's, as far as making it yourself, the juice isn't worth the squeeze when you're just using it as a sandwich spread, basically. If you were eating a bowl of it, then it makes sense.
Definitely
to make
it from scratch.
But we're just using it to put on top of the sandwiches, guys. So we're not neither one of us are gonna put in the effort to make coleslaw for that. It just doesn't make sense.
And
I know that's weird. I know that's weird to say after making my own pico de gallo.
Yeah. And
but there is a big gap there.
And I don't think we're making our hamburger buns from scratch either. I know I'm not.
I am not baking hamburger buns. I'm not doing that. I don't bake, guys. That's a gap for me. I don't bake. If you guys want to see me baking, I'll attempt it. But I fully expect to turn out some interesting,
Oh, I'm going to have to bring George out of hibernation and challenge you to some sourdough bread.
I like I said, I don't bake. So just understand that if I beat you at bread after admitting I don't bake, it's going to be embarrassing. Just understand that, and I'm not going to let you live it down. Anyways, guys, that is our time. We're going to go ahead and drop off here. But like I said, subscribe, like this if you like it, dislike it if you didn't. Comment and call us assholes in the comments. We'll enjoy it.
Yeah, everyone else does.
Yeah, everyone else does. Anyways, guys, we're out.
Asta.